Today on the Diz List, we count down the top 3 lands we wish were coming to Walt Disney World.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything at Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and today we're going to talk about the top 3 lands. I mean, if we did like top 5, this would be like a 3-hour episode. But we discussed this week at school that we said, hey, let's talk about what expansions we would like to see. And we'll get in a minute the specifics of that. We'll talk about that before we go into the halftime show. But let's lead over to you for... so funny, we're gonna literally call it halftime, but it's gonna be like a little bit and then a lot.
So I wanted to say thank you. We got a card from Lindsay, one of our patrons. It was a holiday card. I know this is coming out late. Like, this is coming out right before. This is New Year's Eve. Like, if you're watching this, it's New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Or listening to us on release day, it's New Year's Eve. But we are recording this. It's December 14th. But we got a holiday card this past week from one of our patrons. So thank you, Lindsay. We really appreciate that.
Cool. Thank you.
And we also were this morning prepping for the episode, and we get a text from another listener that is friends with us, like works with us. I actually
this
spent
guy
all
somehow
day
finds his way on our show all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I spent all day yesterday with him, so I'm sure it was just.
I feel bad for you. You did that on purpose, or you get
Our wives were
stuck in an elevator, or what?
Our wives went to the cookie stroll together, and then he and I went. We were told we must spend time together at numerous establishments that sell alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So one of our other friends at work was like, "I got to go home and tell my wife that my friends' wives are telling them they have to spend time with each other at bars."
I think they're just trying to get rid of you.
Yeah, I would 100% totally agree with that. But anyway, he texted us right before we get on air here and was like, "How dare you say all things Mickey shaped aren't good or are overrated?" Because I had made that comment on the Hot Takes episode.
And what did I say?
You said, well, that tracks. Because you didn't remember it. You didn't remember it.
No, I'm like, did I say that? Was that something I said on an episode?
And then he said, no, Nick said it on the Hot Takes episode. And you're like, oh, that tracks.
Yeah. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, but I told him, I was like, we're going to use that as a show opening, because we're not doing news, because it's like we're literally 3 weeks in advance. It would be weird to do news here.
Yeah, I started looking up things that we could talk about for news, and I'm making this list, and I stop and I go, hang on, this is going to be so outdated by the time this episode comes out. Because I think
I've got some fun stuff though. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about some fun stuff though. I've got news. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I think right now I'm still in Orlando. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, and I'm probably. This is my news. I'm probably currently sopping up puppy pee, because my new puppy's probably peeing everywhere at this point. So my news is, like, one of the things we did for Christmas, we got a new puppy. So I'm excited about that. Not this show, but the next show, when you're recording, you'll probably hear some whining at doors or scratching at doors. It is what it is. It's fine by me. We tried to do some sort of a Disney themed name. It's a fox red lab. So we were thinking like Ariel, we were thinking like Merida, all those got shot down. That's what I had said.
Were you going to go with Todd or Copper, because it's a hound and a fox?
It's not a hound though.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the fox and the hound is Todd and Copper.
Well, it's a female, so that'd be a little weird, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. So we went with Ginny, right? Good. Do you know why?
Yeah, from Aladdin. The genie comes out of the lamp.
No. Think of a different park.
Jokes on the show.
Think of a different park. And a redhead. It's a fox red lab. So it's a redhead. Ginny Weasley.
Oh, yes.
So,
wow, that's not Disney related, huh?
No. We were trying to think of it. We were looking, like, we couldn't go with because at first my wife was like, "What was Walt's wife's name?" Well, my neighbor's dog is named Lily, so I couldn't do like you can't do Lillian. Um, so we they didn't like Ariel, they didn't like Merida. I said Marge because
Well, that's
Disney
funny you
does
say
own
that.
that.
I had a cat when I was in high school, and I named her Maggie after Maggie
Yeah.
from The Simpsons. Yeah.
Well, I want to name it Marge because it's gonna be large Marge.
Oh,
Remember?
Large Marge from Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Yes, exactly.
So I love that movie.
Nobody got the joke at all. And then
Love that
my
movie.
son said, "Well, you named your daughter after a Tragically Hip song. What if we name this dog after a Dispatch song?" So
That's good.
I was like, "Oh, we tricked your mother into the first one. I don't know about this one." All right.
Well, your wife is a Tragically Hip fan too, though.
Yeah, not like me though. So
Well,
she
she
didn't know.
has to be being married to you.
Yeah, she didn't even know it was that I had actually snuck that by her until I played the song on the way home from the hospital. She was like,
And
"You
then
gotta
she
be
went,
kidding me."
oh,
Yep.
okay.
It was a little sly. Anyway, we're a little bit off the rails there, but we don't have a lot of news to talk about because we can't talk about news because we don't know the news of this week because we are recording 3 weeks early.
New puppies in news, though, for you. That's big.
Yeah, puppy is news. I'm hoping that the old puppy doesn't get too angry about it, but I mean, my other dog's going to love it because she loves all dogs, but
well, she's also very well trained. You guys did a great job training that dog.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure this particular dog that we're getting is like basically the pick of the litter. It was originally going to be the breeder was going to keep this dog to be bred again, and he opted not to. He's already got 5 adults on site, and so he decided not to keep the dog. But all the testing, because they can do that testing for like how well, like what are some jobs that this working dog would do. It's kind of like it's the ASVAB for dogs. All you non-teachers have no idea what I'm talking about, but if you're a teacher, you know what I mean. Yeah. But basically, tested off the charts for therapy dog and for search and rescue and for anything that's like police related as well. So I don't know. Maybe we'll train her. I don't know.
So if you fall off the mower in the backyard, the dog can go and rescue you.
I think more along the lines, if I'm dead and buried, it could smell my corpse. But yeah, which is
okay,
kind of morbid. But
too.
that's what, which is kind of morbid. But that's what the search and rescue dogs do. Is they look for a cadaver dog is what it tested well for.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sorry you brought it up.
Did I? Was I really hinting at that you fell off the mower and died? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, kind of. All right. Anyway, this is so off the rails. We are going to head off to the halftime show, which isn't really the halftime show, obviously. When we get back, we're going to talk about our top 3 lands that we think belong in Walt Disney World. You will notice the absence of one of the parks. And that's because we don't want to bring something to Epcot because we've already talked about what we want at Epcot. We've done a show about what country we think belongs in Epcot. And so, that's why we're not doing that one. So we're going to head off to the halftime show and we'll see you right after this. Welcome back. This half of the show, we're going to talk about our top 3 lands that we want to see brought to Disney. This was an idea we came up with when we were kind of brainstorming what we should talk about this week. We haven't done a real creative one lately. It's been a lot of the, trip planning stuff or like tips and tricks and stuff like that. And so this is a fun one. I'm excited for this one. I think
I like to switch it up when we get an opportunity to do that for sure.
Yeah, I agree. So, you want to go ahead and start? First of all, can you tell me what order you want to do this in? What parks?
I have Hollywood Studios, then I have Animal Kingdom, and then I'm ending with Magic Kingdom.
That's perfect. That's what I had listed anyway. It's the order I had them listed in. So great.
Cool.
Awesome. So go ahead and let us know what you're going to bring to Hollywood Studios.
My first one, I wanted to think of something that was not directly related to me and what I want right now, and think about what's going to be best for the park. And I thought
Mhm.
of a park. I thought of the park as a whole. There's a lot of there's a lot of Pixar. We have the whole Star Wars land over in the corner, and then I thought, it'd be really great. And they don't really have anything like this. I think the only thing closest to this is if you think of Wreck-It Ralph Part Two. I can't remember specifically the name. What's the name of it? I don't remember
Ralph
this.
breaks the internet.
Ralph Breaks the Internet. They have a part where all the Disney princesses come together. And I just thought, wouldn't that be a great land to have? Because any of the princesses can really be anywhere, anytime. So it's not really like a continuity type thing. Like they don't really worry about that. It's not like when they had Galaxy's Edge and they had like that very specific timeline. They can
Mhm.
have all the princesses come together. So I thought maybe that area that's kind of north of Rock and Roller Coaster, and I know there's offices and stuff everywhere. I get it. North of Rock and Roller Coaster and sort of east of where that new animation courtyard is going to be.
Yeah.
That whole area over there, I was thinking that would be a great Disney princess town. And I'm not saying that's like the name that you put there, but I think they're going to be doing a lot of the Disney princess meet and greets over in that animation area. But that animation courtyard, those meet and greets don't have to be princesses. They can be any animated character.
Right.
So you take the meet and greets, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally do.
You take those meet and greets for the princesses and you kind of focus on that over in the princess land, maybe a smaller castle, maybe not a giant iconic one. And, I always like this idea of having a dark ride where it's like a variety pack dark ride, where you kind of check all the boxes, where room 1 is Mulan, room 2 is Merida, you know what I mean? And as
Well,
you go through, go
yeah.
ahead.
I was just say, well, to be fair, like in Hollywood studios, that almost would match where like you could do I think like a la Great Movie Ride, right?
Yeah, that's what
Or
I was
something
thinking.
like that, where like you can do it and play it off as like Disney princesses through the years or whatever, and you start with Aurora and work your way through. That's not a totally out of pocket idea. That is not necessarily something that is off the wall when you consider it's Hollywood studios, because you could pull that off and say the reason this is going here and in this way is we're looking at the history of the actual films, and so
Yeah.
now that makes sense in Hollywood studios.
Well, the other thing too, I was thinking of when I was thinking of putting this together is there's another thing in the park that's sort of disjointed from its main land, and that's if you think of Star Wars and
Mhm.
Galaxy's Edge, you have the other Star Tours is kind of disjointed, but it's close.
Yes.
So if you put this land kind of north of where that kind of Muppets area, I guess we're hoping that's going to be a Muppets area, but if you put it there,
Yeah.
it's really close to the Beauty and the Beast show. So at least
Mhm.
it's kind of all in that eastern area of the Hollywood Studios park. And then I toyed with, okay, what kind of, restaurant? Because I always try to work in, what kind of food? Is it a quick service? Is it a sit down with the princesses walking around? I don't know. I haven't really gotten that far, but I just think it's something that kind of stands the test of time, never really goes away. Are you going to bring a young boy there? Sure. I mean, whatever. I mean, I
And why
think,
not?
why not? I mean, you think of some of these other lands, Star Wars isn't specifically geared all towards boys. It's for boys and girls. That's why they
Yeah.
introduced Rey. But maybe they want to go the route of having it, royalty. And instead of Disney princesses specifically, you could add in some of the princes and things like that too, just to be more inclusive. And I'm not trying to bring in more male, you know what I'm saying? I'm
I
trying to
do.
be
No, I understand
accessible
you.
to little boys and little girls. That's all.
Here's the reality of it. Like Disney's not going to build a land unless it's going to have massive draw across the board.
Yeah.
And if you just did princesses and didn't pay attention to like Prince Eric, for instance, just
Exactly.
off the top of my head, like if you don't pay attention to Prince Eric, you're probably not going to attract as many people. But if you put those characters that currently are kind of rare, like even like Flynn Rider, I know he's not a prince, but like having those kinds of characters in there isn't necessarily a horrible idea.
Prince Naveen from Princess and the
Yeah,
Frog. I mean,
100%.
there's such a popular franchise now being over in the Magic Kingdom. he's a great character to use. So maybe it is. Maybe it's switching to, royalty instead of specifically princess. I mean, obviously lean heavy on the princesses. There's a lot of them, but
Yeah.
maybe that's the way to appeal to the whole crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's a conscious thing with the producers when they were doing Star Wars. They're like, let's center a whole movie around a female character.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
I mean, that's
I mean, you think of all the action movies now that are centered around female characters. They're great. Like, we
especially
don't even
Marvel.
really notice it anymore. But
Yeah,
they
Marvel
never used
ones.
to do that at all. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went a completely different direction.
Good.
We are fresh. We're right in the thick of the holiday season. We're just done with Christmas. We're now about ready to ring in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
I went with a North Pole land. Okay. Now hear me
good
out.
idea.
Hear me
Wear
out.
your sunscreen.
Yes, they already kind of have a themed park to this, right? They already have a water park that's kind of themed this way. So I'm thinking North Pole Land, and it's actually with a whole bunch of touches from the Santa Claus franchise.
Great.
Those movies are very popular at Christmas time, yes, but in the movies there's stuff going on outside of those times. When he's going back home, in the first movie, and he's kind of living his life and transforming, and later on when he goes and he's back, when Charlie's being got on the naughty list for the graffiti, in the, I think it was Santa Claus 2, the Mrs. Claus, that one is, but I watch these movies nonstop. They're on loop in my house right now. But go ahead.
Part 3 is the one with oh my gosh,
Yes,
the comedian Martin Short.
Yep, Martin Short.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Yep.
He's Jack Frost.
Yeah, I like that one.
So like the idea of this land also stems a little bit from, so I grew up in the Adirondacks, as I've mentioned before on the show. There is a theme park, or I don't know if I want to call it a theme park, and there's an amusement park up there
outside of Lake Placid.
Yes, it's called the North Pole. Okay, it's Santa's Workshop, the North Pole. It's in literally, they have a zip code, North Pole, New York. It's really technically a hamlet near Wilmington, which is where Whiteface is. Whiteface isn't actually in Lake Placid. And I can remember going there. I had a lot of friends who worked there growing up. One of my good friends was Raggedy Ann, because they have Raggedy Ann and Andy walk through the park. She was a character. She was like a walk around character. They have like a Christmas tree that talks to you. I think the name was Tan-O Bomb, like Tannenbaum, like O Tannenbaum. But the tree would talk as you walk by, and you could have a conversation with it, almost like Turtle Talk with Crush. So there was somebody nearby, like, who could hear it and was talking as the tree.
Cool.
They had bobsleds as a spinner ride. You could go and pet the reindeer at the petting zoo. And then of course you had your meet and greet, if you will. You went and saw Santa. It might be July, but that's where Santa was. And you go into his workshop and all that stuff. And, I do think Disney could pull this off pretty well. I think it would be really cool. It's one of those things where I know that people might say, well, it's not a year round holiday. For some people, it is. Like, you can't tell me look, I know your wife. Your wife would love a Christmas themed land at Disney.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the day that we hit Thanksgiving break. It's like Christmas threw up in your living room, right? I mean,
I let her go a little early this year. She was very happy. So we had the whole tree up before Thanksgiving this
year. Because Thanksgiving was late this year, so that's part of it. But like my household, so my wife's born at the end of November, so she doesn't like to have Christmas stuff up before her birthday. She's gotten a little bit softer on that with the kids over the years, and
well, that's me too. Your wife and I almost share a birthday. Yes. We're like 2 days off,
right? And I think part of it is too, we put up our trees early so our cats can get used to them before we get the actual decorations on them, because the cats are, cats are jerks. Yep. But I think Hollywood Studios having a North Pole, because the other thing is, like, you got to remember that is I wanted to go with a land that represented a live action property that they have. And because it's a true live action property, and it's a big live action property. I mean, that property, that IP did big numbers for them over the years. And it still is on loop on multiple television stations. It's not just Disney owned stations that have that on loop. So
Was that originally put out by
great.
Touchstone, which is the Disney Studios? They sort of switched their name to that. Was that? I think that was a Touchstone Pictures release.
I mean, I'd have to look up really quickly to see. But yeah, that's my take anyway, or my pick for Hollywood Studios is I think it would be great, honestly. And you think about the stuff they could do. I mean, they already have like Christmas decoration shops that are year round at Disney. Make a whole land out of it, man. Do it. Lean into it. That's a great property you own. Do it. Well, that's mine.
It works great. And my 2 cents on this is a kid who can go and see Santa and get to see Santa year round. Hopefully, I mean, I know he's doing all of his work up at the North Pole, but maybe Santa comes to Hollywood Studios, and anybody who's visiting Orlando, the kids can put in their Christmas list and get to see Santa, so they get to tell Santa early. You know, and then after that, they can do everything naughty because Santa knows that too. It's okay. That's not gonna work.
Yeah. So that's my Hollywood Studios pick. But
anyway, it is Touchstone Pictures, and my other thing is that's a lot of Tim Allen in that park.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
That is a lot of Tim Allen, because he's got a giant sculpture over in Toy Story Land of Buzz Lightyear.
I forgot. I wasn't even thinking about the Tim Allen connections. That's great.
But there's one other person who has a double connection in Hollywood Studios too, who plays 2 different roles. You have Han Solo in Star Wars Land and Indiana Jones Stunt Show, and they're literally neighbors. So if you think of Star Tours, and so he wouldn't be the first. So that's kind of
true. I say we do it. Let's do this.
Funny thing to think about. And and I think there's another one too. Frank Oz, I think, is one of the Monsters Inc. characters, and he's also Yoda. And he's also a Muppet.
I was going to say he's a Muppet,
Miss Piggy.
Too.
Oh my gosh, he's a triple.
Yeah.
Man, this is a fun game. Let's move on.
Let's head on over to Animal Kingdom before we find 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon over there. All right. So
I'm going to guess that you and I match up on this one. And we're going to go to Animal Kingdom next. And I'm going to go with, I'm just going to say it. This is your favorite franchise. And I'm going to say Lion King. Do we match up?
We don't match up, but
really
we don't match up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. There's not a ton to this because we've mentioned this on the show before. If you're a new listener, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. So we've discussed before that we really wanted a Lion King dark ride, but I believe it's going into the new Disney. I can't remember the name of the new park in Disneyland Paris. It's Hollywood something. Anyway, but they're putting in that new Lion King ride that looks like it has a drop that comes out of it, but they're I'm thinking of having some kind of Lion King ride, but have it north of the area where they do Festival of the Lion King. And I know there's a Club 33 over there, and I'm not sure where the animals are located, because they could always relocate the animals, because all of the animal habitat is sort of just above Festival of the Lion King, and I know that's where they shortly over is where they start the savannah. So I don't know the actual layout. I mean, I could probably look at a map and see where that would be between Pandora, where they have the Flight of Passage building, and then where they start the Savannah Safari. But I think there would be enough room for that. And then I was thinking, I had to jot this down. Call it that would be a Savannah themed quick service restaurant. Or call it the Pride Lands or something like that. And
okay,
there's some good quick service there, but I know you're a fan of table service, and I am too, but sometimes you're just in a big hurry and you have picky kids, and sometimes you just want to get something fast. So I was thinking do different things, burgers and maybe a taco or something, because there isn't really anything that's specifically Mexican themed there, and I know a lot of kids really like tacos. So I was thinking it could be something similar to Pecos Bills, but then you just retheme and name everything after a different
so you want to put
African
a Pecos
animal.
You want to put a Pecos Bills, a taco stand in the African in a Lion King land?
No. I'm just saying something. Okay. I'm using that as a comparison because
I got
Pecos Bills has everything. It has burgers, chicken nuggets, tacos. It's a really diverse menu for kids. That's why I like that place so much for the younger crew. I mean, my family goes there and they can really have whatever, you can gluten-free fingers, the gluten-free burger, tacos are naturally, the hard shell tacos naturally gluten-free. But yeah, I was thinking I'll expand and do a Lion King land there, and I thought that would be the best place to do it.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. I almost just lost it and started dying laughing because you said gluten free fingers. And all I could think of was like, how can I? Because you didn't say chicken fingers, and I knew what you meant, but I was like, oh man, I want
I think I have scissors in the drawer over here. I could demonstrate.
It's like your kids eat human fingers. All right, so I think that's cool. Look, the reason I didn't go with oh my gosh, don't do that. This is a kids show. This is a family show.
If you're listening, right. Yeah, never mind. You don't want to know. Just having fun, guys. Just having fun.
So the reason I didn't go with Lion King is because Lion King's already in the park, and I don't think it's done enough in the park, but Lion King is already in the park. And they just brought a new property to the park, Zootopia. And if I hadn't ever seen the Zootopia land that is in Shanghai, I probably wouldn't necessarily have said this, but I think they need to have a Zootopia land. And
that's an easy copy paste.
Yeah, hear me out. Is we've already kind of ripped that Band-Aid off about IP in this park. Mm-hmm. They already have kind of, I don't want to say disrespected the original theme, because I don't think that's a disrespect, but like,
no, because it's the same thing in Epcot though.
Yeah, they've already sort of like backed off a little bit and said, I know it's about conservation, but we still need to get people here, right? I mean, their job is to get people in the park. Right. And if you put a Zootopia land in there, I think you're going to put, they're going to put butts in the seats, so to speak. People are going to show up. I mean, this is a huge franchise at this point. The first movie was successful. The second movie is super successful. Everybody I have heard that has gone and seen, I haven't seen it yet, but everybody who I've heard that has gone and seen it loves it. They already have Better Together there. You could easily somehow kind of make it where that's like not an entrance to the land, but that's kind of tied. And besides that, look, Star Tours is not in Galaxy's Edge, so they can easily have something that's disjointed. You could have Zootopia. Go ahead.
I think it needs to go kind of like when you're entering the park and you get to the Tree of Life, you go left, and if you go like straight, it'll take you to Pandora. If you go, let's say you go, I don't know how to describe this.
Up the middle is
I was thinking like in between where Rainforest Cafe is and Pandora on the left. So west side of the park. I don't know what's there.
I think it should go like an extension going back toward because I think they're going to eventually expand here. But I think it should be along the path going out toward Planet Watch.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
That would work. Like, behind Everest.
They can expand out there, right? Because I mean, it's a massive chunk of land there, and that's a long distance out there. So I don't know. That's just an idea, but I think Zootopia, like, it's a no brainer. Like like you said, it's copy and paste. You bring the ride they've got over in Shanghai. What's it called? Zootopia Hot Pursuit. Let's look it up real quick. So Zootopia Hot Pursuit, you could pull off. Look, man, I think it's something that would be great. I honestly think that they could pull this off. I don't think it's that far flung or far fetched to think that they might want to do something that they've already kind of started to do. So, elsewhere and just expand on it. So yeah, I'm saying Zootopia.
Well, I think you accidentally stumbled on a really good idea here. And if you think of the first, and I haven't seen Zootopia 2, I'm looking forward to it, but I haven't yet. And if you think of the beginning of the movie where it starts off with Judy Hopps and the rabbits and their whole family, and then they take that train into Zootopia and you see all the different environments, maybe that's part of you're riding the train out to Planet Watch, but one of the stops, you have multiple stops along the train, also similar to what they have in Magic Kingdom. They could literally connect it. So let's say the land is north of Everest, like we said, and there's a pathway where you can walk back there, because you really don't want to strand people back there, but you can take the train, get off the train to Zootopia, just like Judy Hopps does, But
Mhm.
I feel like that can't be the only way to access it.
I agree.
There, you
Correct.
know what I mean?
But
That's
I
weird.
like your idea because you think about like Rivers of America when you used to go through and they'd have like the different scenes and stuff on
Yeah,
that train. You could have those different scenes of
great.
those different
Yes.
like I don't know if I want to call them villages or whatever, but you're right. The countryside is like going out like
Yeah.
and they're on that train going out there. It's a quick retheme. You don't have to have a huge land. You could easily expand out by that where that petting zoo is and where the Planet Watch is and
Yeah.
all those things. You could easily do
Hmm.
something there. I keep saying easily. You could definitely do something. I don't know about easily, but yeah. So that's my thought. Is over at Animal Kingdom. I'd like to see Zootopia.
And it's a huge property right now. So that's, I mean,
It is.
you're
It's
printing
massive.
money. Yeah.
I agree. So all right,
My
now let's
last
head
one
over to the
here.
big dog. Big
Yeah.
dog.
Magic Kingdom. And I'm going to start off with, I mean, you touched on Universal at the very beginning and you were mentioning your dog and the Harry Potter themed name here, but I
Yep.
was thinking of the way it seems kind of funny that taking cues from the way that Universal does things, but they do, they do some
They do
things
a
pretty
very
well.
very good job.
And by the time you're listening to this, I'd hopefully have gone to Universal Studios. But I was thinking those three parks, one of the biggest draws for all three of them is to go to each park and get to see whatever the version of Harry Potter is at each park. So you can
Yeah.
go to Hogwarts, you can go to Gringotts, or whatever the new one is. It's Fantastic Beasts. There, I got it. Okay.
Yep.
My brain's still working a little bit today.
Well, and the Ministry, they kind of mash
Ministry of
two
Magic,
together
right?
there. Yeah,
Sure.
Ministry of Magic and the 1920s Paris for Fantastic Beasts.
And I will say, I am not anti Harry Potter at all. I don't know it very well. My family, the three of them, love it. I think it's kind of the opposite. Like my family is, well, my son loves Star Wars, but my wife and my daughter are like, yeah, Star Wars is fine. It's kind of like me when it comes to Harry Potter. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I'm not reading the books. I'm not rewatching the movies, but they were cool when I saw them. So it's something that my point is it appeals to everybody. So I'm getting back to what my point was here. In the top area of Magic Kingdom north of Tron, which is kind of sort of adjacent to it, why not have a Star Wars land at every park? Maybe not Epcot, but if you think of Disneyland, they have Galaxy's Edge on the far west side of that park, and it works fine. What if you do that northeast corner above Tron and you make it Tatooine? So Tatooine is the desert planet from Star Wars. And I've been saying over and over, you're going to laugh, but I've been saying we needed a Jabba the Hutt, Jabba's Palace restaurant, which I would love to put in there. And I say it all the time. And it's one of those things like when we talk about Muppets going into Rock and Roller Coaster, that if we talk about it enough, we will talk it into existence. And that's what I'm going to do here.
Rob's manifesting it.
I'm trying to. But again, there isn't a huge amount of room. And I went back and forth on this one. Because I was thinking you could annex the whole area of the Tomorrowland Speedway. Let's say you take away the entrance where Tomorrowland Speedway is now, push it further back so it's still kind of north of that Tron area. So it kind of snakes around Storybook Circus. I don't want to get rid of that because I kind of like that idea. But maybe that's pod racing. Maybe that track is reconfigured so that you make your vehicle so a kid could drive the pod race, not super fast, but they have multiple on the track. They go slow. They make the big change where they're all electronic vehicles. And if you don't know what pod racing is, I try to think of our listeners whether or not they know the world of Star Wars. It was from the first episode where young Darth Vader, Anakin, rides around on these little vehicles.
Wait,
and it becomes this.
That kid's
this
Darth
race.
Vader?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You should watch those. The Star Wars movies are good. Wait, what's on your shirt?
Oh man, we're horrible.
Is that a Star Wars shirt? Did you even know that was a Star Wars shirt? Or did you just like the design?
I didn't know. And by the way, did we even talk to each other? You're just wearing bigger heads.
We didn't even wearing Mandalorian and Star Wars. Yeah.
We didn't even plan that.
Not playing that. I got Bills underneath. Don't worry. Bills are playing today.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm switching to a jersey right after this.
Me too. So
here's the thing. You just accidentally solved Disney's continuity problems or timeline problems. If there is a Star Wars land in every park, you can do one from each trilogy, because Batuu is kind of more the third trilogy, because like from day one, Rey was kind of there, so
and
that's
Kylo Ren is the main villain in Rise of the Resistance.
So to me, you've kind of solved their continuity problem. So you could easily do, if you wanted to do 3, which by the way, why wouldn't you, right? Do what Universal does, lean into into a masterful, huge IP like they do. So what if they do lean into that with Star Wars, and you could do one from each trilogy. There's 3 trilogies. Let's do a land from each trilogy, at these 3 parks. Now, you have a really hard time selling it to Animal Kingdom unless you made Animal Kingdom be the land that has. Oh, I was going to say that if Animal Kingdom was the park that had the original trilogy and then leaned heavy into Ewoks.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's Endor. Yeah. Yes, that was my plan.
If you did Endor there, you'd be fine, and then you'd have to do something like Tatooine and theme it toward the second trilogy. So you have Darth Maul be the villain in
the
Magic
pod
Kingdom,
racing,
and Darth Vader is going to be over in Animal Kingdom because of the continuity there. But you could pull it off.
Yeah,
they've pulled off crazier stuff. I mean, they've got Pandora over there, so I mean, they've pulled off crazier. But that's a great idea. It's not what I had.
I'm really curious what you have here.
So look, I'm not a huge fan of copy paste stuff. I really am not. I like the new stuff, but when I see another land that is so well done that I'm like, gosh, I wish we had it. I really think that Magic Kingdom should be the place where we bring Frozen to the United States.
Oh, yes. It could go right above Ariel and the Be Our Guest restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, it could go wherever they want to go. I don't care. I mean, but
there's room north of it.
Oh, you're not wrong. I'm just saying, I don't care where it is, but that land, that would be a great land, Frozen land, because first off, you want to talk about monster franchises, you don't get bigger than Frozen. I mean, I'm sorry, you just that thing, that's got a life of its own.
And I was curious how part 2 would do, and I mean, Moana was big, but not Frozen big.
No, and you look at like the new animatronic they've debuted, that like the walk around animatronic or like meet and greet character of
Olaf.
Like
that's my gosh, it's so cool.
It's remarkable. And you throw in like the way that land is so immersive over there. To me, this is an easy home run. It's not an easy build, but it's an easy home run, and nobody's going to get mad that you're doing this. That would be my opinion.
Well, I can only think of one, and I'm sure you have an idea for this, but I can only think of one tiny issue, and that is, I don't know what they're doing over in Europe, but I think the 2 rides when they did the other Frozen land, one was sort of a copy of Mine Train, and the other one was a copy of the what is it, Frozen Ever After? Yeah, yes. That's the one that's in Epcot. So you'd have to create a new one, which is great. Go for it. You know. Maybe you have an idea, maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. Like, there's so many great things they could do with that franchise. Sledding, from the first movie, or there's so many things you could do.
There's a ton of stuff they could do, and I think that they would be silly not to lean into that particular IP.
Great idea.
If they want to do an IP based land anyway. So this has been fun. Like, it's been a while since we've done one like this. Yeah. And
I like to do it as often as possible. So like you said, we can sort of, what did you say? We're not talking into existence. Like you and my wife talk about this. Manifest. Yeah.
Your wife tried, before we went to Poly, she kept trying to manifest us somehow getting pixie dusted, upgraded to a bungalow.
Like,
I don't think
which is funny too, because you and I had this conversation 3 days ago about the cost of the bungalows, and Nick and I discussed, the amount of money. How much does this level cost, and how many DVC points does this cost? And you were like, okay, just take a guess. How many DVC points do you think it's going to take for a week long in the bungalows? I don't even think I wasn't even in the ballpark of what it was.
It's 950 about. So
see, and I wasn't going to put you on the spot because I didn't know if you remembered it, and of course you do. You're a math teacher.
Yeah, I think it's like 949 for a bungalow for a week in the summer when I go.
Okay,
so but yeah, guys, this was a fun one. If you like this kind of creative stuff, I would highly recommend you head over to Patreon. I'm not saying you have to, but it is definitely where we flex more of our much more creative muscles get flexed over there because we do a lot of stuff. In fact, we're going to be recording some of our favorite game here today, favorite fix and flatten.
Yep.
But yeah, you guys should head over to patreon.com/DizListPod. Check us out there. Give us a like and follow on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the things. And head over to Instagram, follow us there. And of course, TikTok, which Rob has single-handedly revived our TikTok. I am not a TikToker. But Rob definitely has done a great job over there helping to run that and uploading stuff. So, and this new platform also with recording has made it much easier for us to get some good reels and stuff for us to post for you to hear a little short snippets. But if you haven't already, go over and follow us on all the things. It really does truly help the show. We are 100% listener supported. But thank you guys so much for listening. But it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow's just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.